Alright guys, welcome back to the vlog. Today is bags install day. It's more of actually going over what I've already installed with my friends yesterday. So I do apologize, I didn't go in depth with the installation of the bags on the FD, but for the most part is really like the same process that I showed before on my friend's Subaru WRX, on my WRX, and another STI that I did a while ago. But the concept is the same in terms of installation with the air struts, a wiring harness, all the lines. So I'm just gonna go quickly like what I did with this car, and like I said, if any of you guys who have FDs want to do the exact same thing, just go ahead and follow this step. Alright guys, so very first thing I did, obviously put the car on all four jack stands, take out your old struts, and what I did with these guys, so this is YSR air struts specifically for an Fd Rx7. And they built it pretty well from what it looks like. Still haven't test driven it yet, but I'm going to here in a bit. The bags are pretty good. All around it's gonna actually be like this, a double bellow airbag, and the most it'll expand, I believe, is like up to here. So about maybe, I wanna say an inch, just to expand a little bit. I do like its sleek design, so rubber or any tires wouldn't really come in contact with this. All I did with the lines is pretty much just tuck it all along like the wheel well. And what I used here is actually cushion clamps. I apologize, you can't really see that, but right here is a cushion clamps just so I can have a guide within the wheel well. And I threw it into this grommet right here, which just luckily it was there, so I didn't have to really cut a hole or anything into the chassis, and I could just feed the line through. And on the other side, you're obviously gonna have to take off some interior panels. So what I did was I took off pretty much the left side right here, this guy, pull the carpet back a little bit, and then just feed the line and tuck it underneath all over here. And you're gonna have to take off this panel as well, and you could literally just tuck everything in there. There's actually a decent amount of space, so it works out. And this board, you're able to take the middle part of it out, but I like to have it here just because it kind of keeps it clean. Like if you guys look at it from the back, it's just one solid board. It's kind of acts like a wall, and the only thing coming out of the board right there, and I'll go on the other side to show you, but it's just pretty much the red and black for the battery to power up the compressor. In here I have the lines for the rear, for the driver rear. So all I did was, if you see the hole right there, I drilled the hole down and then fed the line through, which is from there, and then just loops around and straight to the fitting right there. So I am using a 1/4 inch fitting. The only thing that sucks, and then this is actually pertaining to the front side, is that for some reason YSR didn't send me the full fitting package, meaning I'm supposed to get all 4 90-degree elbows, which I did, I got them, but there's supposed to be a cap that holds the line from coming out. So for some reason this one didn't come with it, and this is like, this part right here is Home Depot, so luckily I was able to find that and it works. But all around they have that cap except this side. But besides that, installation is pretty simple. Coming back to the front, or rear I should say, got the tank, dual compressors right there. I did not wire this part of the compressor yet, just because I need to add an inline fuse, and from there just add one of these like terminal connectors for the positive, and then put it to the battery, and then it should work. So, but for now, I'm only gonna run one for now, just so I can get this car back on its feet. And then just to show you the management system that I had there, so all the lines are kind of just it's not a clean job by no means. Is this something that you guys should do, or if you guys want to do something cleaner, go ahead, but this is just something temporary for now. In the future I might do hard lines just so it's cleaner, but for now, whatever works. I'm gonna have to somehow secure this board to part of the trunk. I think for now I might just do hardware or like 3M or something. It is weighted, so luckily it's not gonna like slide off really easily, but just for now I'm probably just gonna run 3M tape. And same thing goes on this side. So once you have all this out, you're gonna have to actually, it's easier because there's no wiring harness that goes through here. It's only on the driver's side, so all that goes through here is just your airline. Then that's it. And then you have to take off the middle part, and then you have to take off the cover where the ECU is over there. And then on this side for the front, what I had to do is actually take off this fender. So, well, not take it off completely, but kind of make it loose, so that way you can kind of access the line behind it where you guys can see. And I just found a grommet right there and then just accessed it and just like fed it through there, and then you can see it clearly from where the footwell is, where I showed you guys where the ECU was earlier. So that's where this line is going from. And then cushion clamp, and then one more cushion clamp, and then to the fitting. So this is the thing I was talking about where they miss it on the driver's side, this little guy right here. But everything else, you know, it was all in stock, or it came with the package, whatever. But this is the only thing that was missing on the driver's side. But anyways, luckily I got that fixed, so that's good to go. But that's really what you guys want to do, is just make sure your lines are not being in contact at all with your tires, because that is very dangerous. And yes, that's how you pretty much pop a bag, or, you know, lose pressure really fast in one bag, and that you're pretty much screwed and you're stuck on the road. So kind of a quick rundown. I do apologize again, I didn't go in details, but I was a bit in a rush. But this is, I would say this is, you know, sort of ideal of what you guys want to do in terms of setup. And then for the rears, the same thing I showed you guys on the driver's side, but it'll kind of just loop. So this won't come in contact with the tire, I don't think it would, but I can always, you know, shove this in more. But I just wanted to give it a little bit of slack, because I don't want it to be super tight to where it's kind of just like snagging and pulling on that fitting right there. Key points, you always want to have the fitting facing either like on the side or outers, because in the rear, if you have it like tucked underneath behind this bag, it's just hard to access it if you need to ever maintain it or replace the lines in the future. So just a quick tip for you guys. It's pretty much the same deal for all the other cars that you install bags on. But I'm gonna go ahead and throw everything back, put all the wheels back on, and get this thing off of the jack stands and see where this car is sitting in terms of pressure. So the only thing, one more thing I do want to say is, in the end, I'm gonna have to keep messing with this height right here. So I have it just for like 4 fingers right now, just a rough like measurement. Probably gonna have to dial it in a little bit more, but for now I did 4 fingers all around for all 4 struts. I'm gonna have this sit at my previous ride height that I had on my WRX, which I believe was like 60-50, so 60s in the front, 50 in the rear. But we'll see how this sits. I will show you guys how it looks and go from there. Oh, one more quick thing I forgot to mention. So I don't know how a lot of other people do it, they probably have a separate switch for it, but there is usually a pink wire that comes from the harness, and that pink wire usually is to power up the whole like management system. What I did, and what I always did, was just hardwire that pink wire that powers up the management system into a cigarette lighter fuse. So if you go underneath, this is where your fuse box is for the FD. You can see the pink wire right there. I literally like just jammed it into the fuse, and it's snug, so it's not gonna come out ever. And like I said, I've done that before and it worked perfectly fine. But what that allows is every time you turn your car on, you know, obviously your cigarette lighter is going to turn on as well, and that'll power up the controller and the management system as well. That's somewhere back there. But that's just something quick of a tip that I wanted to show you guys. And yeah. Alright guys, so a couple things on the update of the bags. This is actually like day 7 or something now. I do apologize for kind of dragging the video, but there was some things that I had to do to the bag system to just kind of get everything finalized, the height and everything. So I did adjust the collars, or the spindle I guess, of the actual air strut itself, the tower. So instead of having 4 fingers, it's like 5 now. I think by inches, it's, I want to say it's 3.5. So pretty much from the bottom of the top spindle to the top of the bottom spindle, if that makes sense. In the future, when I do get new wheels and stuff, when the car is back on the jack stands, I will go ahead and show that to you guys exactly what I was talking about. But for now, just to kind of end the video and to show you guys the quick updates that I did for the tank setup and everything. But mainly I just threw a line on the exhaust side of the management system. So before I didn't have enough extra line to do that, but since everything came in, I can finally show you guys what happened. Okay, so pretty much what I'm talking about is this very last line here that I'm pointing at, this guy. So I have that vented all the way out underneath this panel, and if I open this, you see how there's two lines now, and I pretty much hit where I drilled into the one on the left with the red tape that's right there. So on that side, it's pretty much vented towards the wheel well, so there's about probably like this much of line sticking out from the wheel well towards the tire. Luckily it does not hit the tire, so if I air out or whatever, it won't hit it, or you know, when I'm on ride high, if it bounces, it won't hit it. So I took that into consideration. The only reason I like doing this is because I don't want all the air being shot at to the wall of the, you know, that panel. Instead, I actually want to vent outside, and plus you could also hear the car airing out outside, which I kind of prefer. That sounds better in my opinion. But yeah guys, that's pretty much it. Oh, one more thing before I close the video and show you guys how this car looks when it's rolling and airing out. I did also have the chance to finally hook up the second compressor. So the only issue is I do not have this hooked up to the main harness, meaning when I'm on the remote right there, the management doesn't realize that there is a second compressor, because I'm just running it completely independently based off of the positive and ground cable to the battery right there. So through another 30 amp inline fuse for the positive side, and then of course ground. And I did have to do a switch, which is right here, that thing you see right there. So I pretty much it's a very tacky setup, and like I said, by no means should you run this setup. I just did it temporarily just to get it running and working. But pretty much how I have that set up is, if this happens to fail, my main compressor that's hooked up to the harness, if it happens to fail, I have that as a backup, and all I need to do is just switch that to on. Or if I do want to have this tank, I guess, filled up faster, and it does work actually, but while this is on and I switch that to on too, the only issue is it does draw a decent amount of power, so my voltage on my battery ends up being like I believe like 12.8 or 12.7 when both the compressors are running, and then of course the car is running as well. So that's a little bit of the downside, but that's the setup I have for now, and I don't really mind it at all. So honestly more of a backup compressor, and now it's working. I have it right on the fly in case I need it. But otherwise guys, that's pretty much the setup. Have any questions, go ahead and just throw it in the comment section below of what else I did to this that you guys are kind of confused on, whether it's the setup of the tank, compressor, management system, airlines going into the front and rear bags, where I routed it, or whatever. Just if you guys have any issues or comments, just please ask down below, and I'll try my best to get to you guys' questions. Alright guys, well that's pretty much it. Enjoy this last clip of the car rolling in and airing out, and that's pretty much how I have it as my setup for now. The next thing I would say for this car is probably going to be wheels. I have a set of wheels that I have in mind that I do want to run. It is not Rays, I will give it that. That is the change, as I always supported Rays, but hopefully you guys will like it. That should be, the order of that should be coming in soon. After that is actually going to be installing the hood I have and a new bumper that I am trying to go for. Otherwise guys, that's pretty much it. I'll catch you guys later, and I'll keep you guys updated as always. See ya.